Hello everyone, welcome to the Unplayable Podcast. We're on the road, we're in Darwin, and Australia's Test series against Bangladesh is not too far away. My name is Josh Schonafinger, joined by Louis Cameron, and coming up on this episode, Beau Webster joins us to chat about his position in this 11 and what the next 12 months looks like for him. Louis, welcome mate, how are you?
I'm good. I feel like I'm the not the Northern Territory fast bowler you want to be listening to for this podcast. Your regular host is presumably on the Gold Coast at the moment, enjoying nice weather up there. But it's even better weather here in Darwin, isn't it?
It's hot, isn't it? It's really hot up here, and the players have been enjoying it. We've been sweating it out, just standing in the sun, but that's why this part of the country is so good this time of year, because you can grow cricket pitches and you can play Test cricket.
That's right, yeah, an untapped resource, some might say, especially for Test cricket. It's been 22, 23 years since Australia last came up here, and it's great. Like, you can absolutely see the appeal. We had a good look at the Marara facilities today. We've seen a bit of Darwin over the last few days. We've taken you to the markets, Josh, and been down to the waterfront, and it's just beautiful. I know people who are shivering through winter down in Melbourne and Sydney and other parts of the country get up here at some point, whether it's this week or in the near future. We'll
try not to harp on too much about how glorious the weather is.
I'm going to keep harping on about it.
Okay. Before we get into our little preview of that first test, we want to remind all our listeners to give us a rating on Apple Podcasts if you're listening there. We're currently sitting on 240 ratings. It'd be great to get that triple century up in the near future, I reckon, Lou. And we've had a recent review as well, so I want to read that out because, if we get good ratings, we should be giving them a bit of limelight on the show. This one comes in from a person called Please See This.
Okay.
So they've got our attention. It's worked.
Okay.
Not sure if that's their birth name. Hey guys, the pod is amazing. I'm a 13-year-old fast bowler in Canberra who wants to get into the Test team. I was wondering if you have any advice for me. Do you have any advice for our young 13-year-old fast bowler?
Well, now I'm definitely the wrong person to be answering that question. Kane, you should ask Kane when you get him back on. But I don't know. Don't bowl too much. Don't bowl too little. You don't want to get a stress fracture, but you also don't want to underdevelop your skill too much to learn, hamper your development. Listen to what your coaches say. Eat the right foods.
Work on the wobble seam, perhaps?
Yeah, wobble seam, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, learn that. Watch some Stuart Broad videos online. Watch some Mitchell Stark videos online. Yeah. You've sprung that one on me. I did not think I'd be giving fast bowling advice on this podcast, Josh.
Well, we can circle back to Richo, as you said. We can also maybe tap into a great Canberra fast bowler, Jason Behrendorff, perhaps a little down the line.
Yes.
One of the great products of the ACT.
Yeah, we're hitting all the territories at the moment.
Let's get into Darwin. Lou, as you said, we watched a bit of training today. The Aussies are out on the sort of adjacent ground to the main stadium today, running through their paces. All the fast bowlers had a little bit of a bowl. We saw Nathan Lyon have about 5 overs, he said, in the nets with his off spin, so looking good. And all signs are pretty positive at this stage from an Australian squad point of view.
Yeah, good hit out. It felt strange, Josh, like kind of being in an unfamiliar spot. Like, kind of, we've just got in this rhythm now, I guess, of the opening test of the summer, inverted commas, is in Perth, and gotten used to the build up there and the marketing kind of stunts that they kind of do in the lead up to build this series. We're in August. We're in another remote foreign capital. They're all fit, which is a big update on last time, right? So we finished the Ashes and there was no Cummins, no Hazelwood, no Lyon. Well, those guys they're flying at the moment, and that's going to create a real selection squeeze when it comes to fitting Boland and if I missed someone in there. Stark, of course. Yeah, he's pretty good as well, that bloke. The two oldest guys in there, and they're going great guns. Scott Boland especially, like, you think, maybe just get squeezed out by Hazelwood. He looked like maybe just about the best bowler from the bits I saw in their little centre wicket session. They were playing on the same pitch as the one that Bangladesh got skittled for 50 odd a couple of days ago at that cricket ground there at Marara. So it'd be interesting to see how they tackle that one. But, good problems to have all these guys on the park.
Definitely, and there might be a little bit of rotation. Who knows? I mean, they're going to have to try and get all these fast bowlers through this next 12 months because while there are good stocks in fast bowling in the country at the minute, you want your first choice players available as much as often.
Yeah, well, I think the luxury they have is having all these guys fit. Yeah, they're all on the older side. You've got 6 bowlers there between 33 and 38 who are their top 6, you'd say. I'm probably Nisa is number 6 there. He's done a calf, so he's already, he hasn't made it to the start line. I think that's going to be okay for this series, but you look at Hazelwood and you look at Lyon, 2 guys who have gone down during tests over the last little bit, so they've all faced their injury issues. Pat Cummins more than anyone over the last little bit, maybe even more so than Josh Hazelwood, who played a lot of white ball cricket leading into last summer's Ashes, but he's not breaking down during the match, and I think that's a key distinction. So that'll be one of the discussions you'd think for George Bailey and Andrew McDonald is, are we confident that 38-year-old Lyon and 35-year-old Josh Hazelwood, I believe, can we pick them in the same team? Because we know the other blokes are pretty rock solid, and are we confident the other guys? And if there's any question mark over that, then I think you just go with the safer pick, because if the safer and in inverted commas less effective pick is Scott Boland, well, that's a pretty good plan B.
Absolutely. And if our listeners do want to get into the weeds on how these fast bowlers are still going so strong, even though they're heading into their mid to late 30s, well, you've written a great piece on cricket.com.au that you can check out now about all those sorts of ins and outs of managing elite fast bowlers. Yeah,
like putting that one together. Encourage people to take a good read. Mitch Starc is probably the hero of that story, and getting into the weeds, hearing about what he does to prepare himself to play cricket. He's this amazing, the medicos kind of say he's this amazing athlete, genetically gifted athlete, but the work ethic that he has around that is what in Ross Herridge, the physical performance leads, said. He calls him a unicorn. There's just not many guys who have that freakish work ethic and the kind of genetics to back it up.
Yeah, okay. Well, we didn't see a horn coming out of his head, but we did see a black headband on today. I know a lot of our listeners do like to watch the fashion side of the cricket as well, and so
on Starkey, the black headband.
Yeah, Stark had the headband on today, maybe just to keep the sweat out of his eyes. So one to watch for the test match.
Well, I thought you were going towards the black pirate kind of rag on Jake Weatherall.
Well, describe that, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it. He looks like if he did not already look like a pirate with his earring and bald head, and his love for nautical things, then it's kind of gone even more that way. He was wearing a black headband under his helmet. Maybe he had that on during the Ashes, but
I can't remember it. Yeah.
Is that a thing? Maybe that's one for our listeners. If you've got a bald head, does the sweat kind of pull up in the old dome up there?
Podcasts at cricket.com.au if you want to get in touch about that. Beau Webster, as I touched on off the top, he's going to be joining us very shortly, but we saw him in the slips cordon as well, practicing today. Usman Khawaja has left the first slip vacant in this team, of course, after his retirement. Beau Webster seems like the natural fit, and given how he was practicing today and given the little injury cloud that was reported around Josh Inglis's back, it seems like it might be Webster to get the nod over Inglis in that middle order.
Yeah, that would be my guess. My guess is that my guess is that Webster is not the one they'd be debating. It would be maybe Inglis over Green at 5/6, depending on what they do with Carey. Could Carey bat up at 5? I think Green is probably the one. He played the Sydney Test. He's the one who deserves another crack at it, in my opinion. And I think with Inglis, I think he probably, if he was desperate, if they desperately needed him to get up for this test, they'd be able to. But I think he probably would have missed anyway. But these guys have sprung surprises before. I think the conventional wisdom at the moment is that would just it's probably Green, Carey, Webster at 5, 6, 7 in some order, and then one of Boland and Hazelwood.
So you were up in Darwin. If you are a Northern Territory local or you're travelling for the game, make sure you get some tickets. There are still some available for this match. Last year we saw one of the great crowd catchers of all time at this ground. The young man had 2 big hands in his right hand and managed to pluck a one-handed catch from, I think, a Tim David 6. So would have been travelling as well in his left hand. We want to see some more of that action over the next couple of days as well. So get down to the ground if you can make it, of course, or tune in on Fox or Channel 7. Let's get into that chat with Beau Webster. He's in a very interesting space in his career at the minute, and we just love the way he goes about it. So here's Beau Webster. Welcome to the Unplayable Podcast, Beau Webster. Just back from the UK, you've had another stint with Warwickshire. How did it go this season over there in the UK?
Yeah, it was good. I went over there late March, played the first 6 county games and the full T20 blast. So it was a good long stint, 4 months, but it was very enjoyable. I enjoy my cricket over there. Warwickshire look after me really well. It's good fun, and I get to keep playing cricket, I suppose, all year round, which is the best part.
And home ground being Birmingham and that famous ground at Edgbaston. What's it like being on the right side of the crowd there?
Yeah, it's good. It's good though. We do get good crowds there, especially in the some of the T20 games on Friday and Saturday nights. It's a good atmosphere. It's a great ground. Lovely place to bat. Good facilities, and very lucky I get to spend the winter there and keep trying to work on my game and whatnot, and play as much cricket as I can throughout the winter, and it's a good place to play, definitely.
A maiden T20 as well in the books against Somerset, 112. Talk us through that innings.
Yeah, it was Somerset, smallish ground, lovely place to play T20 cricket. There was a bit of rain around, and I think we were chasing about 210, 220, something like that. So it was a high scoring game, and just one of those ones that ball slid on nicely with a bit of rain and some short boundaries, and got onto a couple, and we managed to chase it with a couple of balls to spare too, with another nice knock from Dan Mousley, got about 70 or 80 as well, so it was a good partnership.
Has that been one you've been wanting to tick off for a while, a T20?
I probably didn't really think it was on the cards, to be honest.
Right.
Over the last few years I sort of batted up the order a bit more, and it's probably become more live in the last 2 or so years when I've been batting number 3 a bit more. So nice to tick one off. Definitely one in each format's always nice. I'd like to get a test one this year. That'd be more special than all of them. But we'll see how we go.
Now, UK summers normally bring up a few funny stories or two. We've obviously seen Clicky Ponting make the news with the first slip shenanigans. Anything crop up in the county scene that you can report, or does it all have to stay over there?
Nothing off the top of my head. The cricket is a little bit different, no doubt. There's just the way the grounds are and the ball and different field settings and things like that. It is very different to back home, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Sorry.
And I guess the sheer weight of games that you're playing as well is a little bit different to an Australian domestic season here, isn't it?
Yeah, not much time in between games to train or tinker with your game too much. I think we play in that first 7 weeks. Every team plays 6 games. Starting each Friday, so there's a day off on the Tuesday, and back in training Wednesday before you're ready to go again Friday. So it's all systems go, which is great. It's part of the beauty of it. I think you kind of just if you nick one or kick one early in the week, you're back out there not long after another fixture. So I love it. It's good fun. Yeah.
Now, the Ashes was last summer, of course. You came in for that final test, so it makes you an official Ashes winner. So congratulations on that. It was a bit of a funny test, though, in the end, wasn't it? You were picked at number 8. You ended up batting at number 9. Probably been a while since you batted that low.
Could be first time, I think.
First time.
Yeah.
But you finished with 70-odd not out. So what are your memories from that match and that whole series?
Yeah, I was stoked to get a chance in the 5th test. It was good. It was... the boys battled it out for 4 tests on some interesting wickets, and it was a great series, and it's lucky enough to get a chance in the last test and batted at 9, which is a bit foreign, but managed to get a few runs and a couple of wickets too, and we had a good win as well, so that always helps.
Yeah, a couple of crucial wickets. Harry Brook and Will Jacks, and Ben Stokes was in there as well.
Dragged down.
But it was in a pretty important stage of the match, and the team got around you, didn't they? They all jumped on top of you.
It started to spin a little bit from that end, probably where Starkey's footmarks were for majority of the game, and I managed to throw a few in there that spat back towards the stumps, and didn't think the LB was out at all. I think if you look at the reaction, it certainly didn't look like I thought it was out, and Keza had to convince me to take it upstairs, and lucky he was hitting in line, hitting the stump somehow, so I'll take it. Just one of those ones, got in a bit of a roll and got a couple more wickets, and went a long way to winning it.
Seems like that you bowl your medium pace a little bit more than your off spin now. So do you really relish that opportunity to bowl a bit of off spin when you get the chance?
Yeah, I think the only time I bowl off spin is if there is a bit of spin in the wicket, so there's always a bit of assistance when the ball's spinning. So it's exciting. I still, I bowled for a lot of years growing up, and first part of my first class career, I bowled a lot of off spin. So it's nice to get back there when the wicket dictates that. But these days you've got to keep your loads up and make sure the body's right for the medium pace when it's required. But they're certainly both there, and whatever Paddy or whoever calls on it whenever needed, hopefully I can do a job.
Now there's a big stretch of tests coming out for Australia, which has been pretty well publicised. Do you have certain goals that you want to achieve throughout this period? Are you looking at a certain amount of matches or anything that is sort of on your radar? Because there's so much cricket coming up.
No, I mean, I'm not a real big goal setter personally. It's more like stay in the moment and probably just try to contribute where I can. Like I said, if it's bat ball or in the field, if I get a chance to try and take it with both hands and try and contribute to some wins for Australia is probably the main goal. Like I said, we've got a big stretch of tests, and if we can get on a roll early, it's going to go a long way to building some momentum. You know, we've got some tough opposition coming up, both home and away, so it's exciting. And if I can play my part wherever that may be, it's going to be it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
I don't know how much you read the comments section on social media, but there seems to be a bit of groundswell for the Webster should play. Do you sort of feel that?
Probably just Tassie people jumping online. No, I always feel well supported. Yeah, it's been a great sort of 18 months since I made my debut, and every test I played in, it feels like I'm contributing some facet, which is always nice, and one of the beauties of being an all-rounder. So hopefully can continue and still make an impact when I'm given the chance.
Any of those tours that are coming up that particularly take your fancy that you'd love to be a part of and play a role in?
South Africa coming up is going to be huge. I've never been to South Africa, so it's going to be an awesome place. Obviously, some of the grounds there are good. The wickets are pretty similar to ours in terms of the pace and bounce, and they've got a hell of an attack. So it's going to be exciting cricket and. They obviously rolled us in the final last year, so it's going to be an interesting 3-match test series, no doubt, and one that I'd love to be a part of. It's going to be all systems go and enjoyable.
First up is Bangladesh, of course, in Darwin and Mackay. There's a lot of unknowns with this series, given the venues and the opponent. Australia don't play them a lot. What are you sort of expecting?
Yeah, I haven't played at TIO. I know the boys played a T20 up there, I think, earlier on. But it's a bit foreign for us as well. Obviously, a drop-in wicket on what is probably a footy ground, probably big pockets and things like that. So we're going to have to get our game plans right and hopefully start this big run of test cricket off well before we head to Mackay. I played an Aussie A game there a few years ago. It's a nice place to play. The wicket's nice. You get a good crowd in there, no doubt, with the test stuff being around. So. It's going to be a nice way to kick off this big period.
And Bangladesh, what do you know about the Tigers? Have you seen much of their players play at all?
A few, no doubt. They're going to be a good team. It feels like they're on a bit of a run at the moment from what I've seen. They're winning games of cricket and obviously had a few big outs already with the series with a few of their seamers, but they're going to be dangerous opposition, no doubt. They've got some good players and we're going to have to be our best to be able to get the result.
Definitely. Also, this is maybe a little bit further down the track, but your white ball stuff has been very solid as well. Australia, would you like to move into that space as well in the ODI side and that sort of, or does that not cross your mind? You just...
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think any chance to represent Australia would be huge, and my white ball I feel like has been developing quite nicely the last few years. It kind of feels like it's getting better each year, and I've had a bit more opportunity batting up the order in one-day cricket for Tassie and some T20s as well around Big Bash and Blast. So I feel like I've certainly gotten better in that facet of the game, and then hopefully I can contribute with the ball. Whether it be a bit of a slow turner, I can bowl some off spinners, and if it's a nipper or whatnot, I can bowl some seamers. So it's definitely something I've got my eye on and would love to be able to debut in, no doubt.
Okay, well, we know Andrew McDonald listens to the podcast, so that's good to know.
I've been telling him that.
Now, it's Census week this week in Australia, so everybody has to fill in that survey about who owns what and who's got what. So I just want to run through a bit of a cricket survey with you, if that's okay. Yeah. We'll just start with your full name.
Beau Jacob Webster.
Beau Jacob Webster. How many cars do you own?
One.
Just the one, okay. In your cricket kit bag, how many bats are in there?
Not as many as some of the other boys, probably 4.
Okay,
take with
and
me
that's enough?
That's plenty, yeah.
How many pairs of gloves?
Probably double that, 8, I reckon.
Any pairs of used or worn socks floating around from the UK in there?
Oh, definitely, there'd be something in there, yeah. I left a lot of stuff in the UK, so a lot of my stuff's new at the moment. I've got to wear it in, but there'll be a few rogue socks and things like that, no doubt.
How many earrings do you have?
Just the one at the moment. toying whether to get another one or take it out. I think I'm going to double down or get rid of it. So I'm not sure just yet. I'm going to wait for a bit more feedback, I think.
How many belly button rings do you have?
0 belly button rings.
And the last question here, any tattoos? Do you have any tattoos?
Just a couple of small silly ones around my finger and chest when probably a couple too many beers deep in some of the lads' holidays a long time ago. But yeah, just good reminders of some fun times.
So no stories worth sharing?
No, not on the camera.
All right, final one is a segment we're doing this year. First, how well do you remember your firsts in cricket? So we'll start with your first Shield match. Do you remember much about that first Shield match? Tell us about it.
We played Queensland at Bellerive. I reckon I batted in the middle order. I reckon I was batting at 6 or 7, came in the second new ball, I think, and hit a couple of, I reckon I went cover drive 4, cut shot 4, and was thinking this is pretty good. And then I think Foxy Feldman hit me straight in the shin in front of middle for 8, so 2 4s and out, and then second dig, nicked one on a globe.
Gee, that's great memory.
And then didn't play again for I reckon that was back end of the season, didn't play again for a while, so got ahead of myself as usual, and then had to get back in there next year.
All right, so fast forward to your first wicket. Do you remember who that was in first class cricket?
Yeah, Frankie Worrell at Gliderole or Glenelg, off spinner, he was about number 11, went back, rolled, hit him on the shoe, out LBW.
Gee, excellent memory.
Yeah.
Okay, one day stuff. When was your first one dayer for Tassie?
Oh, that's a good question. Don't know. Don't have that on me.
I've got against Queensland in 2016.
Oh yeah, Alan Waterfield, I reckon.
Queensland won by 1 run. You didn't bat or bowl.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We've been batting 7 or something like that. It might have been a nipper early in the season, maybe. That's probably why I don't remember it. Didn't bat or bowl.
Do you remember your first wicket for Tassie in the One Day Cup?
Would have been off spin somewhere.
It was, yeah.
No, I don't remember who it was.
Well, South Australian top order batter. I've
Is
got
it?
a video of it there. There's Travis Head.
Is it?
You can hit play if you'd like.
This is my first wicket.
Yeah, first wicket for Tassie in the One Day Cup.
Bad, actually. He's tried to hoy me. I need to show him that.
I'll send it to you after this.
That's great. He's tried to give himself room and dong me over mid off.
So there you go. That's your first one.
That's nice.
Your first 100 in the Shield. When was that?
I don't know the year, but it was at the MCG against Victoria, obviously. I reckon my 6th or 7th game, for Tassie.
A relief to get the 3 figures?
Yeah, it was, definitely. Yeah, it was a bit unexpected, I reckon. I don't think I went probably the first 3 or 4 games without getting too many. And then we played at the G. I could try and think of the attack. I don't think Bazza played. I reckon Pattinson played, Dutchy Holland maybe, or Farwad Ahmed. I can't really remember. Stoyne played. I remember that from Victoria.
Maybe a Hastings.
Maybe Hastings, something like that. But yeah, I got a 100. A lot of short ball stuff. A lot of pulling into gaps and top edges. I remember. But big relief. Obviously, get your first one is always special, and I can remember it. Yeah, we lost unfortunately, but
you got to raise the bat, and then your first list day 100 wasn't for Tassie.
No, it was in the old CAE out here at Allan Waterfield against South Australia.
Were you captaining the CAE?
I did captain the CAE 11. Yeah, I can't remember the year. It would have been.
Yeah, I've got 2017.
That sounds about right. Yeah, captain that, and I think we beat them in that game, and then we were on top of the world. Thought we were going to topple the competition, and then lost to Queensland 2 days later in a relatively close game, and then didn't look like winning one for the next 5. Smashed the rest of them. So
CA 11. Would you like to bring that concept back, or are you happy just keeping it as a state?
I'm probably happy keeping it as a state base. It feels a bit more in every game. But I didn't mind the concept. Obviously, I played in it and got my first 100 in it, and probably got some confidence in one-day cricket through that. But no, I'm pretty happy with just the state base.
And then we just fast forward to your first Test match, which you did touch on. It was, of course, against
India.
At the MCG. Talk us through getting that cap in that moment. And
I've said it a few times. It was a little bit unexpected as well. I sort of got added to the squad in the Adelaide Test as a bit of like a come around the lads and a bit of reward, and didn't really think I was going to play. Obviously, we had Bison and. We had Bison in there. I don't think Greeny might have missed that year, did he? And then, came round to the Sydney Test, and I hadn't heard anything. It was the day before the test, still hadn't heard anything. He wasn't actually going to go to training, and then saw everyone had thumbs up the optional session, so I thought I'd better go and show my face, and then it all happened pretty quickly where they got out of a selection meeting and tapped me on the shoulder and said I was playing. So it was a quick call to my wife, and then straight to mum and dad, and got on the plane, and the rest was it was over pretty quickly. That's 2.5 days. It was a bit of a spicy wicket, so it was a fun game to play in.
So any kids listening, the advice is go to training, because you might get picked to play for
I think we were
Australia.
going to go to the beach. It was quite a nice day, and I said, it's the day before, I'm not playing, I don't want to get in the way or whatever, let the boys have their time in the nets. And then I think my wife actually said, if everyone's going, you better go. So I was like, all right, I'll go and have a coffee and throw some balls if they need it. And then, but next thing I knew, I had to put the pads on to try and get ready for a test match.
There you go. Wife always knows best.
Yeah.
And then your first test wicket was in that game.
Yep.
Do you remember who that was?
Shubman Gill, I reckon.
That's right. Yeah, I've got it there if you want to refresh your memory.
Yeah, I can. I tell everyone I nicked him off with a beautiful outside, but he actually tried to park me over mid-off, I reckon.
A little bit similar to the head wicket.
Yeah.
But caught down the leg side. Good catch by Alex Carey.
Yeah, Kez has taken a couple nice ones. It's actually nipped a bit, that. Stiff on bowling. But yeah, I always say caught behind, nice outside edge, 4D, but it's a bit different if you look at the footage.
But pretty handy play to get as your first wicket.
Absolutely. I'll take it.
Excellent. Thanks, Beau. Good
Thank
luck
you
for the season, and all the best.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers.
So thanks to Big Slug. Now, one of the things with Beau Webster that you mentioned off the top there, Josh, was him being at first slip, right, and the hole that Uzi Khawaja kind of left. That cordon of Webster, Smith at 2, Marnus at 3, Green in the gully. That is one of the better catching foursomes that I can remember.
It's very strong, isn't it?
Like, I reckon that tops even, like the glory years of Steve Waugh at gully, or even Matthew Hayden at gully, and
maybe Warren at first, Ponting at second.
Yeah.
You reckon it's topping that?
Well, was there ever a point where Taylor, Warren, Punter and Mark Waugh?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
In the same... I mean, they're the kind of the best ones. And Warney was like a great first. He just caught everything. Mark Waugh was more the take the amazing hanger. But those three, Webster, or those four, all those guys can take absolute hangers. Like Marnus and Smith were taking one-handers last summer.
Yeah.
Green and Webster. I've thought in the past that there's a world in which if Green and Webster are in the same team, they're so long that if you want a 3-person cordon, you only need Green and Webster they are essentially 1.5 human beings each with their wingspan. So you only need 2 of them, and then you can have another fielder somewhere else. But then that's not having Smith and Marnus in the corner.
Yeah, you
Marnus
probably want them there.
Yeah, and Marnus is the one who's improved a lot. So
yeah,
it's interesting last summer how they kind of did different things in terms of having guys closer, up guys with helmets when the ball wasn't carrying as much. I've got a sense that we might see a bit of that, particularly in Darwin. Drop-in wickets, typically they use quite a similar drop-in method to what the old MCG wickets did in terms of splitting it down the middle and dropping it in, and it sits in a metal tray in the car park at the back of the ground for most of the year. And those wickets tend, as well as they look after them, tend to be can be low and slow, and you don't get that same beautiful carry that you get at some of the natural venues, or I guess Optus Stadium, which is also a drop in. But yeah, we might see more kind of close slips kind of catches.
Yeah, and Richo sort of alluded to that last week as well on the show, didn't he? So we might not see the huge pace and bounce that we used to for season openers at the Gabba or Perth, but Australia's fast bowlers can generate pace out of anything, it seems like, so it doesn't have to be a rock hard thing, does it?
Yeah, and it might be a more welcoming environment for Bangladesh, right? Because these are, we heard Taskin Ahmed say that, just reflecting on the weather with Darwin, it felt a lot like Bangladesh, having now been to both.
Yeah.
It's not as humid here as it gets in Dhaka, but I tell you what, we're closer to Dhaka weather than we are to Adelaide and Sydney weather, or Adelaide and Melbourne weather at the moment. So that could be a little factor potentially that brings Bangladesh into the game a bit.
We've just come from a press conference with Taskin Ahmed. In fact, he was jumping on a boat with Jake Weatherald and Alex Carey, going to do a spot of fishing out here as some sort of little press opportunity. So hopefully they caught something. We'll find out soon enough if they did. He's now the leader of this attack, Taskin Ahmed, with Nahid Rana and Shariful Islam out of the 11, out of the squad as it stands. But he's a 31-year-old. He's been around for a long time. He was telling us that he was at the 2015 World Cup So over a decade ago, he's been around this Bangladesh team, and there are quite a few moving parts in this team. Obviously, you touched on bowled out for 54 in that practice game against CA11. Isn't the start they wanted, but there were some signs in the first innings that things were looking okay for them. And yeah, I mean, they're just so unfamiliar with these conditions. So it is going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, but like it is going to be an uphill battle. And I think the biggest challenge for these visiting teams, especially a team like Bangladesh, they are made up of, they're a small team. They're small guys, right? And the extra bounce that you get from Australian wickets, that can be confronting, I suppose. And that would be the temptation to play Hazelwood with Cummins and Stark. It's like, let's just blow these guys away with bounce. I don't know if that Darwin wicket is going to be like that. It had good carry for the T20s last year, but I guess getting that to be the same for a 5-day test is another kettle of fish altogether. Making runs is going to be their biggest challenge. I think when they did have when they might have had Naheed Rana and Shariful Islam, who's another big out, as you mentioned, if they'd been able to cobble together 200 each innings, like maybe, let's see game on. But I don't think they're going to be like absolutely blown away by the bounce there. They're a lot more conditioned to these things. Quite a few of these guys have played in the top end T20 up here as well. So and played cricket in the Southern Hemisphere. So they've won a test in New Zealand not all that long ago. So there are some signs, but it didn't look good when you're getting rolled 50 by fringe state cricketers. That's not a great sign.
No, it's not. They do have Lytton Das. He comes in to strengthen that middle order. Shanto, he missed out in that practice game as well, but he's a class batter. We've seen him score international centuries all around the world, so I think he'll certainly respond. And they've also got Mushfiqur Rahim, 39-year-old. Speaking of little guys, he might be their smallest player, but he's been playing international cricket for the best part of 20 years. He knows how to score a run or two, and he's the leading run scorer in tests for Bangladesh by, so far it's not even funny. So I think, there's a lot of experience there. Can they make it work in these conditions? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, well, I mean, they beat Australia in an ODI series only a few months ago. Australia were not at full strength. That's, a big asterisk over it, but, still beating the world champions in that format is not nothing. They had, all their fast bowlers kind of up and going at that point. I think the fear factor won't be, I mean, when you think back to 2003 and they came out and, that team had probably just never seen Australia before, and they were probably in awe of them. It'll be interesting to see whether that is there on the same extent. Are they going to feel like they're looking up at their heroes? Taskin said today that, in a really sweet way, said that he looked up to Stark and Hazelwood and watched these guys for a long time. When it comes to Thursday, like they got to put that out of their mind. It can't be looking up to heroes stuff. It's got to be I'm their equal and I can beat them. Mushfiqur Rahim was captain in 2017 when Bangladesh beat Australia in a test for the first time in Dhaka. Extremely different conditions, but that was a strong Australian team with Warner, Smith. Nathan Lyon took just about every wicket in the series from memory. So that belief factor will be there, I suppose.
The other big or important point of that Bangladesh 11 will be Tajul Islam. He is their number one spinner. In fact, he's their leading test wicket taker of all time with 270 wickets. He didn't bowl in that practice match because he got a bit of an injury batting in the first innings, but according to Taskin, it was just a bit of a bruise, and he was confident that Tajul is going to play. I mean, having a spinner who can hold up an end and just make sure that they're not leaking runs is so important in Australia. We've seen a lot of good sides come here and they don't have a spinner, and that's really cost them. So even though he might not be super threatening, I think, if you can have someone who can just type the runs, it can really help.
Yeah, and that was my presumption too, hearing a little bit maybe from the Aussie camp that potentially they're not necessarily expecting Tajul to play, even if he is fit, that they might go in with three fast bowlers, Mehedi Hassan, who hit the century, who's another accomplished international spinner. I think he has about 200 test wickets to his name. Small right arm spinner, who I believe captains them in some white ball cricket. Potential for him to bat at 8, and then maybe Sumya Saka, who surprised us that he was batting all the way down at 6 or 7 in that CA11 game. Maybe that's where he bats to kind of shore up the batting, and then they only go in with 4 frontline bowlers. That gives them a lot of batting, to kind of withstand what they'll be facing from Australia. Because the only way Tigel and Mahedi both playing the same team, you would think would be Mahedi getting pushed up to number 7.
Number 7, yeah. Yep. So plenty of questions still for the Tigers to answer. Let's see how they respond. We'll be back with the Test daily recaps throughout this entire series. So we look forward to bringing you those. And Lou, we're going to enjoy the rest of Darwin, aren't we?
I will. Yeah, maybe we'll get out for a spot of fishing, catching barramundi, and tuck into it when we're doing our next recap, Josh.
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you all after the day 1 of the first test.